Something unexpected is happening at the intersection of gaming, streaming, and global pop culture. A beloved chaotic cooking franchise that has tested friendships across America is now stepping into the Netflix ecosystem. And it's not going alone. It's bringing a collaboration that blends culinary chaos with high-gloss pop spectacle. Overcooked. The frantic couch co-op sensation that turned shouting, "Where's the lettuce?" into a cultural meme is heading to Netflix games. And it's doing so alongside a collaboration inspired by K-Pop Demon Hunters, a stylized animated Netflix property that blends music, fantasy, and action aesthetics. For millions of American players who grew up huddled around a console, controllers clutched tight, relationships strained over digital onions and burning rice, this is more than a platform shift. This is a signal. Netflix isn't just streaming your shows anymore. It wants your game nights, your group chats, your TikToks, your fandom. But why this game? Why now? And what does this crossover actually mean for the future of streaming, gaming, and pop culture power dynamics in the United States? Tonight, we break it all down, from the origins of Overcooked, to Netflix's aggressive gaming expansion strategy, to the cultural force of K-pop aesthetics in American media, and why this collaboration might represent something far bigger than it first appears. Stay with us, because this isn't just about cooking. It's about control, over screens, over culture, and over what comes next. To understand why this matters, we have to rewind nearly a decade. Overcooked was first released in 2016 by Ghost Town Games and published by Team 17. What seemed like a quirky indie cooking simulator quickly evolved into something else entirely, a social phenomenon. The game's premise was deceptively simple. Players cooperate in increasingly absurd kitchen environments to prepare and serve meals under time pressure. But simplicity was the illusion. The real magic of Overcooked was psychological. It engineered stress, urgency, miscommunication, and coordination breakdown, all while maintaining bright, cartoonish charm. It became the ultimate relationship stress test. Couples, roommates, siblings, and friends across America found themselves yelling in living rooms, not in anger, but in panicked hilarity. It wasn't just a game. It was a bonding ritual. By the time Overcooked 2 launched in 2018, the franchise had cemented itself as one of the most successful cooperative party games of its era. It earned awards, critical acclaim, and millions of players worldwide. Meanwhile, a different revolution was taking shape. Netflix, the streaming giant that disrupted cable television and reshaped American entertainment consumption, began quietly building a gaming division. What started as experimental mobile integrations evolved into a strategic expansion: Netflix Games. Unlike traditional game publishers, Netflix Games operates inside the subscription model. No microtransactions. No standalone purchases. If you're a Netflix subscriber, you gain access to their gaming library through mobile devices. It's a bold move, especially in the US, where console gaming remains dominant and subscription fatigue is a real concern. Now layer onto this the global rise of K-pop aesthetics in American media. From BTS breaking Billboard records to Korean dramas dominating Netflix's global charts, US audiences have shown a growing appetite for Korean-influenced pop storytelling. KPop Demon Hunters, an animated Netflix property blending supernatural action with pop idol energy, fits into that ecosystem. While details about the collaboration's in-game mechanics remain limited, the branding alone signals cross-fandom strategy. This isn't random. It's calculated. Netflix is leveraging an established, stress-tested cooperative franchise to attract both gamers and global pop culture fans into its ecosystem. And in the streaming wars, ecosystem control is everything. According to official announcements, Overcooked is set to join Netflix Games as part of its growing mobile library. The version launching under Netflix's umbrella will be adapted for mobile play, aligning with the platform's strategy of delivering games directly through its app ecosystem. Reports indicate that this edition will include collaborative elements inspired by K-Pop Demon Hunters. While Netflix has not released exhaustive gameplay specifics, early previews suggest themed characters, stylized kitchen environments, and cosmetic integrations reflecting the animated property's visual identity. It's important to note what has and hasn't been confirmed. Confirmed. Overcooked is joining Netflix games. A collaboration with K-pop Demon Hunters is part of the launch strategy. The game will be available to Netflix subscribers without additional cost. Not confirmed. The full scope of crossover mechanics. Whether the collaboration is limited time or permanent. Any console expansion tied to this deal. Netflix has been cautious in messaging, emphasizing accessibility and subscriber value. In corporate language, it frames the move as part of its broader effort to expand interactive entertainment offerings. Translation? Retention strategy. Streaming platforms are facing churn. In the US, subscribers frequently rotate between services depending on content releases. Adding games increases engagement hours, and the longer users stay inside the Netflix app, the less likely they are to cancel. For Overcooked, the shift to mobile under a subscription umbrella opens access to a different audience, particularly younger users who primarily game on smartphones. For Netflix, it's brand leverage. Legally, this collaboration appears to be a licensing partnership. Ghost Town Games retains its intellectual property rights, while Netflix licenses distribution through its gaming arm. These arrangements are increasingly common as streaming platforms seek exclusive interactive content. Financially, Netflix is diversifying beyond passive viewing. The US gaming market generates billions annually, significantly larger than streaming revenue alone. While Netflix Games has not yet rivaled traditional gaming platforms, each recognizable title strengthens its credibility. Culturally, this collaboration taps into two powerful American behaviors: group gaming and fandom identity. Overcooked is known for in-person chaos. K-pop-inspired aesthetics drive digital fandom engagement. Merge them, and you generate shareable moments: screenshots, reaction videos, social media clips. Strategically, this signals Netflix's long-term ambition, becoming an entertainment hub rather than a streaming service. And that's where competition becomes relevant. Companies like Microsoft have already built subscription-based gaming ecosystems through Xbox Game Pass. Netflix appears to be adapting a similar model, but targeting mobile-first accessibility. The question isn't whether this single release will dominate charts. The question is whether Netflix can train US audiences to associate its brand not just with shows, but with play. Within hours of the announcement, gaming forums and social media platforms lit up. American fans expressed a mix of excitement and skepticism. Some celebrated the accessibility. Others questioned mobile adaptation quality. On platforms like X and TikTok, clips of previous Overcooked chaos resurfaced, often captioned with variations of "Now this is coming to Netflix." Meanwhile, K-pop fandom spaces reacted with curiosity. The aesthetic crossover opened speculation about character skins, soundtrack integration, and potential music tie-ins. There's also a generational split emerging in online discourse. Older console-focused players wonder whether mobile controls can replicate the intensity of couch co-op. Younger audiences appear more receptive, viewing it as a convenient addition to an existing subscription. This tension reflects a broader American gaming debate: console loyalty versus mobile accessibility. And Netflix is betting on accessibility. If this rollout succeeds, it sets precedent. We could see more Netflix originals integrated into interactive experiences. Imagine other properties, dramas, animated series, reality franchises, adapted into games within the app. For Overcooked, success on Netflix could expand its audience base and introduce the franchise to users who never owned a console. For the broader industry, it underscores the convergence of media categories. Streaming platforms are becoming game distributors. Game studios are partnering with film and TV brands. Pop culture silos are dissolving. And American consumers? They're at the center of this experiment. At its core, Overcooked isn't about onions or rice or digital sushi rolls. It's about connection. In living rooms across the United States, families have laughed, argued, and bonded over this game. College roommates have screamed at each other in mock fury. Couples have jokingly questioned their compatibility. Now imagine that chaos infused with stylized pop spectacle, bright visuals, dramatic flair, maybe even musical cues inspired by idol culture. It's silly. It's stressful. It's joyful. And in a digital age where much of entertainment is consumed alone, cooperative chaos feels rare. That's why this matters. Not because it's revolutionary, but because it blends shared experience with evolving technology. If you've ever nearly lost a friendship over a virtual kitchen fire, if you've watched Netflix quietly expand into spaces you never expected, or if you're simply curious about where gaming and streaming collide next, this is the moment to pay attention. What do you think? Is this the future of entertainment, or just a novelty experiment? Drop your thoughts below. Are you excited to try Overcooked on Netflix? Do you think mobile can capture the magic? And what other Netflix series should become games? If you value deep, fact-driven breakdowns that go beyond the headline, make sure you subscribe and stay with us. Because the streaming wars are evolving. And this might just be the beginning to understand why Overcooked, joining Netflix games, is more than a quirky content addition. You have to zoom out, far out, and look at the battlefield. For nearly 15 years, the streaming wars have been about one thing: attention. Not just subscribers. Not just monthly revenue. Attention. Minutes watched. Hours logged. Emotional investment. In the early 2010s, Netflix dominated by moving Americans away from cable. Then came the counterattack. Disney launched Disney+, Warner Bros. Discovery doubled down on Max, Amazon expanded Prime Video, and Apple entered the ring with Apple TV+. Each platform competed on exclusive shows and blockbuster IP. But here's the problem. Hit shows are temporary. Fandom spikes. Then it cools. And subscribers cancel. Gaming, however, creates repeat engagement. It builds habits. Companies like Microsoft already proved that subscription-based gaming ecosystems can create long-term loyalty. Xbox Game Pass users don't just subscribe for one title. They stay because there's always something playable. Netflix is clearly studying that model. By bringing Overcooked into its ecosystem, Netflix isn't just adding a title. It's experimenting with habit formation. If subscribers open the Netflix app not only to watch but to play, Netflix increases daily active usage. And in digital business models, daily active usage is gold. For American audiences who increasingly multitask, watching TV while scrolling phones, mobile integrated gaming becomes a seamless extension of screen life. It's subtle, it's strategic, and it's competitive. Out of all possible franchises Netflix could have partnered with, why Overcooked? The answer lies in behavioral psychology. Overcooked is accessible. It doesn't require advanced gaming skill. It doesn't demand hours of tutorial learning. The controls are intuitive. The objectives are clear. Anyone can jump in. That matters on mobile. Hardcore console titles often struggle in adaptation because mobile gaming sessions are shorter and more casual. Overcooked already thrives in quick bursts of chaos, perfect for on-the-go play. There's also brand safety to consider. The game is family-friendly. No graphic violence. No controversial themes. That aligns with Netflix's broader subscriber base in the United States, which spans children, teens, and adults. But the deeper strategic value lies in social mechanics. Overcooked is inherently cooperative. It demands communication. On mobile, this could translate into online matchmaking or friend invites, both of which expand engagement loops. Imagine this scenario: you're watching a Netflix show with friends. You pause. Someone suggests playing Overcooked inside the same app. 10 minutes later, you're shouting about burning dumplings. That seamless transition between passive and interactive entertainment is precisely the ecosystem Netflix appears to be building. Now let's talk about the other half of this collaboration, the K-pop Demon Hunters aesthetic. Over the past decade, K-pop has transformed from niche import to mainstream American powerhouse. Groups like BTS have topped Billboard charts, sold out US stadiums, and reshaped global music marketing. American audiences aren't just listening, they're participating. Fan edits, reaction videos, dance challenges, merchandise hauls. K-pop is not passive entertainment, it's interactive culture. Netflix has capitalized on that momentum with Korean dramas, films, and animated projects gaining global traction. K-pop Demon Hunters, while stylized and fictional, taps directly into that visual language. Bold color palettes, high-energy performance aesthetics, supernatural empowerment narratives. By integrating that identity into Overcooked, Netflix creates a cross-fandom bridge. Gamers meet K-pop fans. K-pop fans discover a cooperative chaos game. Both stay inside the Netflix ecosystem. For American audiences, this reflects a broader cultural shift. Global entertainment influences are no longer secondary. They are central. Here's a statistic that often surprises console loyalists. Mobile gaming generates more revenue globally than console and PC gaming combined. In the United States, console gaming still dominates culturally, but mobile usage is massive, especially among Gen Z and millennials. Netflix understands something crucial. Not every subscriber owns a console, but nearly every subscriber owns a smartphone. By positioning Overcooked inside Netflix games, the company removes friction. No separate download purchase. No console requirement. Just log in and play. That simplicity could introduce millions of Americans to the franchise for the first time. However, skepticism remains. Longtime fans question whether touch controls can replicate the precision required in later, more chaotic levels. The tactile feel of physical controllers is part of the Overcooked identity. If Netflix's adaptation preserves fluid gameplay and minimizes lag, adoption could be strong. If it feels clunky, backlash will follow swiftly. Industry analysts are watching closely. While Netflix Games hasn't yet rivaled major gaming platforms, its steady addition of recognizable titles signals patience rather than desperation. Other streaming services are likely paying attention. If this strategy increases subscriber retention or engagement metrics, competitors may explore similar hybrid models. Could we see Disney integrate more interactive Marvel experiences? Could Amazon tie Prime Video exclusives to Prime gaming perks more aggressively? It's possible. What makes this moment significant is not scale, yet, but direction. The boundaries between media categories are dissolving. Film, television, gaming, animation, and music fandom are converging. And collaborations like this are test cases. Scrolling through American gaming forums and social platforms reveals a pattern. Excitement, because accessibility increases player base. Curiosity about what the K-pop aesthetic will look like in-game. Concern about mobile performance and depth. Some longtime players argue that Overcooked is best experienced on a couch with shared physical presence. Others see online multiplayer as a natural evolution. Interestingly, K-pop fandom communities appear intrigued by the crossover potential. Themed characters and environments could drive digital art, cosplay concepts, and live stream content. The real question is whether the collaboration feels meaningful or merely cosmetic. If it integrates creatively into gameplay, it could enhance immersion. If it's just skins and branding, the hype may fade quickly. If Netflix successfully normalizes gaming inside its platform, it changes its identity permanently. It stops being just a streaming service. It becomes an entertainment operating system. That's ambitious. But ambition has defined Netflix's history, from mailing DVDs to dominating global streaming. Now it's experimenting again. And Overcooked, chaotic, colorful, community-driven, might be the perfect stress test for this strategy. The bigger story isn't about kitchens or demons. It's about convergence. It's about whether Americans are ready to see their streaming apps double as gaming hubs. It's about whether cross-cultural collaborations can deepen engagement rather than dilute identity. And most importantly, it's about who controls your screen time in the next decade. Because in 2026 and beyond, entertainment isn't just about what you watch. It's about where you stay. And Netflix wants you to stay right there. Behind every flashy collaboration is something far less glamorous: infrastructure. For Overcooked to function smoothly inside Netflix games, particularly on mobile devices across the United States, several technical hurdles must be addressed. Unlike console ecosystems, where hardware is standardized, mobile gaming operates across a fragmented device landscape: iPhones, Android phones, varying screen sizes, differing processing capabilities. It's a logistical puzzle. Netflix has spent the last several years quietly building out its gaming infrastructure. Rather than launching with cloud-stream AAA titles, it is focused on mobile-native or mobile-adapted games. This reduces latency issues and allows games to run locally through the Netflix app framework. For Overcooked, the challenge is control responsiveness. The franchise thrives on split-second timing: chopping vegetables, plating dishes, dodging moving platforms. Touchscreen adaptation must feel intuitive rather than clumsy. Early previews suggest interface redesigns tailored to mobile ergonomics, though Netflix has not yet publicly released detailed performance metrics. If online multiplayer is enabled, server stability becomes another critical factor. Lag in a cooperative chaos game isn't just inconvenient, it's disastrous. For American users accustomed to smooth console experiences, performance will shape perception more than branding. In other words, this collaboration lives or dies on execution. Netflix's core business remains subscription streaming, but subscriber growth in the United States has plateaued compared to its explosive early years. The company has responded with password-sharing crackdowns, ad-supported tiers, and price adjustments. Gaming offers a different economic lever. Unlike traditional mobile games that rely heavily on microtransactions, Netflix Games operates without in-app purchases. Everything is included in the subscription. That model sends a message: value enhancement rather than upselling. However, it also means Netflix must justify development and licensing costs through increased retention or new subscriber acquisition. Adding recognizable brands like Overcooked helps signal seriousness to both investors and consumers. For the developers at Ghost Town Games and publishing partner Team 17, this partnership opens a new revenue channel. Licensing agreements in such cases typically involve negotiated distribution rights rather than outright ownership transfer. The financial calculus is layered. Netflix gains engagement. Developers gain expanded audience reach. Subscribers gain perceived added value. But the long-term sustainability of this model depends on scale.